Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good. Sorry about that restart there. I'm not sure if anybody else is experiencing any of this kind of stuff, but we're getting some pretty good internet issues going on. It's been kind of crazy. We got some pretty good, yeah, good to see you, RJ. Pretty good solar weather going on here. And we're going to keep this weather for a while. This is something that the majority of the people probably here watching me right now probably hasn't seen this, because, you know, anybody kind of new to this community would not have known, had been around during something like this, what we're seeing right now. We haven't seen quite this duration of a solar storm in quite some time. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now as far as the, you know, overall view of what we're talking about here. But there's other stuff to talk about too. So we're gonna, yeah, cell phones too, huh, Deborah? Yeah, I mean that you guys can expect that for the next week. So let me just tell you that straight up. Erica, good to see you. From Morgan, good job. You guys still on fire out there, Erica? I mean, I know we hear, you know, from the news and everything, but it's hard for people like those of us way over here to know exactly what's going on. You know, we all got our theories, and pretty much we know what's up. They're not going to tell us everything, but hopefully you're safe and you're in a position where you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But good to see you, Penny. Hey, thanks for being here, Isaiah's granny. Really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, stuff going on just like normal. What I want to say here, guys, so Jeff Cyber, what about cell phone? New to channel. Oh, we're having some solar weather, okay? And sometimes when that happens, we get, if it's intense enough, we will see, you know, cell outages, we'll see power outages if it gets bad enough. Internet slowdowns, things like that. And I've been experiencing that since all this stuff started, as far as the internet going slow. Or I've even lost it a couple times for like 30 minutes. And I do think that that's something we can expect during what we're actually seeing right here. So, pronounce Sieber. Oh, okay, cool. Did I pronounce it right? Yeah, I guess I did the first time, huh? Whoa. Hey, Tab, good to see you. Good to see you. Does it make batteries drain faster? Probably not. I wouldn't see how that could cause that. I ain't gonna say that it can't. But I've not heard that or even seen that in a textbook or anything. So, good to see you, Taylor. Tony, Jill. I'm gonna keep this one kind of laid back a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna go, you know, trying to just get it done quick and all that. I am going to try to keep it short as much as I can, and I say that every video. But it seems like about the time I go to wrap it up, we start talking about something, and then you guys come with some questions, which is why I do these live streams. Okay, so I can try to help with those questions. Hey, Brad, what's up, bud? Amby Lee, good to see you. Missy. Shalom, shalom. Scott, good to see you. Darlene, I'm not sure if I said hi to you yet or not. I think I did, but you know, hi again anyway. OG, that's right. 42 volcanoes are very active and over 200 earthquakes today. Yes. And I do think that what we're seeing from space right now is a contributing factor to that. Hacksaw, that's right. You know, while your pie's not rising, Hacksaw, you know, I've not heard anybody ever speak about that, but that would be an interesting topic to try to research out. You know, we all know that elevation will affect, you know, cooking times and things like that, but I'm not sure about that. That's a really interesting thing you said there. Now, you might have even just been joking, but if we take that as like a serious thing, I wonder what we would come up with that. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, Susan, you know, I don't like to leave anything like unsaid or undone, any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Brad, Jim Duggan, Hacksaw, I thought the same thing, I just didn't say it. But that's why, I want to keep it laid back as much as I can, and that's also why that I'm not going to do live streams every day like I have been. I do want to get information out, and I understand people have lives. I really do. You know, I don't have the time to sit here and go through everybody's YouTube videos either. You know what I mean? So why would I expect somebody else to do the same thing when they're trying to, watch me? And I've considered this too, guys. And let me know what you guys think about this. Where I could do my live shows, but I'll also, on the same days, I could take the live show, and at the first part of it, I could just get through the information real quick, and then we can go back and review it after I do that. But if I do that, I can just cut that first part out and repost it as a separate video. I thought about doing that for people that don't, have the time to actually sit and talk, or and if they do on certain days, maybe they can hang out with us or not, It just gives people an option. So, yeah. Yeah, Scott, that, I think that might work for people. I really do. I think it'll kind of help people with that. That way, on the days that you don't have time to actually sit through a live stream, at least you're going to get the information. You know what I mean? And then we can go over and talk about, go over questions people have on the last part of the live stream. If I did that, the first 15 to 20 minutes would probably be just going through the information like I do, and then we would talk about it. That's what it would amount to. That way I can just cut it. Because I think, trying to do the live stream and then doing an edited video separately, that's almost too much time for me to have to do this, because I don't have, all that time. It does take time. If you do, anybody that's ever tried to edit a video knows that it can take even a half-hour video until you get good at what you're doing. Even when you're good at what you're doing, it's going to take you an hour, hour and a half. And that's just because, well, if you care about what you're doing, if you care about the product you're putting out to people, and you want them to listen and see what you have to say, you want it to look as professional or as at least halfway decent looking as you can. And so you try to fix those little mistakes that you made, and so on and so forth. But I do think that I might try it, so, and see how everybody likes it. So that way, like I said, we can still get the live streams in if people want to do that. Plus, we'll get the regular videos there too, that if people want to see. And like I said, guys, one thing that will happen if I do that, the actual, when you see the view count on my videos, it'll probably drop. And the reason why is because I'll have half of you guys, or more than half, doing the live stream, and then the other half will see the other. So the views will get kind of cut in half, which I don't care about that, guys. I don't monetize my channel, so it's not a big issue for me. The only thing that it does bother is if you get to 1,000 views within the first hour, and a lot of people don't know this, the algorithm will kick it up. In other words, it'll put it in a more searched area of YouTube. Okay? Basically, it promotes your video out there a little bit faster, so more people will see it. And that's the only thing that it does help if you get to that 1,000 within the first hour. Now, obviously, if you get more, the more you get, the quicker you get it, the more it pushes your video to the top. So, and I never say, hey, hit the like button or dislike or anything like that. Something else, guys, that you guys would be interested to know. It doesn't matter if you hit if you're going to hit the like button, that's awesome. If you're going to hit the dislike button, that's awesome too. You want to know why? The algorithm does not know the difference between a dislike and a like. All they're looking for is somebody hitting one or the other, and they both go into the same pool. So Heaven's Gems, I seen Dutch was back today. It's like I was trying to tell everybody last night, he does this from time to time. He needs a little bit of a break. I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but after he found what he found on the West Coast with those things going on, with those beams, I'm not going to go anymore, but yeah, after he brought that out and posted it, he started having a little bit of issue, and that's why, because he was over the target. in more ways than one. And yes, Dutch was sick too. That's why he had taken a break. If anybody goes watch his video, you'll see that. So, you know, and I would encourage everybody, if you want to know anything about earthquakes, seismic activity, I go, you know, that is the first one I go to. It really is. I just have to say that, you know. He said he was sick, getting tested. Oh, he's getting tested for that. Wow. I didn't hear that part of it. Hey, good to see you, Knowledge. Wild the last couple days. Well, this is what we got the last couple days. It doesn't look too bad. I'm not seeing a whole lot here, guys. This is what we got right up here to the present time. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on. You know, yeah, there's a few little spikes here and there, but nothing too crazy. That's what I was going to show you guys first here. So we will just dive into this information real quick, guys, and then we'll talk about it as we go through here. But thanks for joining me, by the way. So you got the same little signatures here, guys, that we've been talking about. Again, I have to say this, that this is no way, there's no way this is a natural thing, okay? If this isn't part of like a tool issue, it most definitely is something artificial doing that. You don't get that repetitive down to the second for now 5-6 days in a row. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, guys. Teresa, how you doing? I know. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I really do. I honestly do. I apologize for the past couple weeks, guys. I just really, I promised live streams for so long, and finally I was able to get it done. I just wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing with this, so I didn't screw something up and jack it all up for everybody. And I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it. I'm getting ready to add some templates and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I will. I try to respect your guys' time as much as I can. I really do. But when we're talking in the chat and stuff like that, I do. I like that communication. I think it helps everybody that wants to stick around. But what I'm going to do is exactly what I said. I'm just going to jump into the information, and then we can talk about it after all the data's out. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. I got some mods in there, so I'll go ahead and put the chat down, guys. And, oh, you're welcome, Heavens Gems. Thank you. Carolyn, good to see you. I'm going to take the pen off. I'm going to put the chat down so I can just go through this. Okay, guys? Alright, so, again, guys, the Schumann is what it is, This is our new norm. It really is. I won't even call it new norm now. It's been doing this for over a year now, if not longer. All that means is that this is something that has changed. We can look for it to continue to change, I would think. I would be almost bothered if it didn't. Just to be honest with you. I think that this is something that should continuously, as long as we keep this, the 7.83, as long as that's there pretty steady, I don't think it's going to mess with our psyche too much. These other little spikes and stuff that go on, and, we are getting more consistent frequency intensity up here and these other hurt levels. I think as long as we keep this base right where it's at, I think it will be all right, as far as mentally. If we start seeing that getting all jacked up, like if we start seeing voids or something like that, like it ain't vibrating there at all for certain blocks of time, I would think that we would start seeing some severe mental instability. And I know we all look around the world today and we can say, oh my gosh, you're sitting there saying that? Look around, can't you see all the mental instability? Well, but I think all that stuff's being provoked by just a very, very small group of people. And I'm not going to go into that big discussion. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, as long as we keep this, maybe we can keep a level head, even when stuff does get hard. So, but I'm not seeing a whole lot here, guys, to say, hey, watch out for this, that, and the other. Things just seem to be looking pretty normal, if I can use that. Okay. So this is probably why most people are here. I'm going to update that real quick. It's been sitting there for about an hour. As you can see, guys, I want to explain this real quick, too. Up here at the top, if you go over to Space Weather Prediction Center, and you're looking at solar weather conditions, right? These three boxes on both the sets of three are telling you the same information, but just for different time lengths, okay? The last 20, they're giving you the highest observed number in the last 24 hours in these first three boxes, okay? This is the last observed observation. So what we're looking at here is within the past 24 hours, we were at some point in that 24 hours, we were in a G1 storm, okay? Now the last observation this thing collected, we were no longer in that storm. Now this is one I don't talk about a whole lot. Predicted. This is something we're going to have to pay attention to right now, okay? We're going to be in these storm levels, guys, for probably the next 4 to 5 days. And, you know, is that something we should be freaking out about? Absolutely not. You know, if we get a, if we, you know, by a stroke of whatever, we get into like a G4 or something, I don't think we're going to get there just simply by solar wind. We would have to get like a CME or a solar flare along with the stuff that we're getting, okay? You know, in order for us to really get that high with it. Now, you know, I do think that we have a good chance of getting to a G2 and even possibly a G3. So, you know, for whatever that's worth, guys, I mean, oh shoot. Harry, hey Harry, I'm live right now, man. If you're hearing me, I seen you just called, bud. I'll try to hit you up when I get off of my live stream. That was Hopi NG, guys. I'm not sure if you guys know Hopi or not. You know, he's been going through some rough times, guys. You guys, throw him some prayers if you could. I left the link to his video too, guys. That you know, a couple videos back, he's just going through a rough time right now. So he's got some big decisions to make and things like that. So, but anyway, just throw him some prayers if you could. All right. So as we're talking about this, you know, geomagnetic activity, guys. All right. See, we went into a G-level storm 3 times within this past day. Okay. It's actually 4 because we were in it back here too. You're not going to see much lower conditions than this right here for the next few days, I don't think. You know, we might drop down for a second or two, like 1 or 2 readings here. But I think we're going to bounce right back up into G1, G2. I do think that we'll most likely, I think we might see a G2, at least for a short amount of time. And on the outside, we might see a G3. And I showed you guys yesterday what those storm levels can do. So, hopefully you guys watched that. If not, just go back to that and you can kind of see it. Or just simply Google it. It'll tell you what you can expect. Okay, now this is the solar X-ray flux, guys. Now, I seen this right before I went live. I went over and looked at the sun, and I didn't really see a whole lot, like anything like sticking out. What that is, remember, guys, this is a flux. Okay, so what this is really telling you is that you got this black baseline, right? And it can fluctuate on either side of this. What that means is just because this went up doesn't mean that stuff is up. This is really about the same thing as this. Okay? It's just a difference from the median line there. Okay? That's what this graph is telling you. So when you see this, that is most likely a solar flare also. So that's why I went and looked at the sun. I seen a small one, and we'll take a look at it here in a few minutes, but it wasn't nothing like real big. So if you could take this, the size of this, and just kind of flip it over, it would be about right here, which is about the same size as this one, which is a very low level C-class flare. A C1 is what this one was. Okay, I think this one might even be a little shorter than this one, so it would probably be down in the B class, so it wouldn't even amount to a whole lot. But just know, if you see this right here, that's still a solar flare, most likely. Now, it's showing you X-rays, and that's the main marker we look at for solar flares, okay? So down here, like I said, guys, just because, we see geomagnetic activity, this proves it right here. We're seeing all this geomagnetic activity, right? Well, there's no flaring going on right here in this block of time. So you can have one or the other. You don't always have to have both at the same time. So I like to point that out to people so they know. Okay, the ACE data here. Again, the BZ, it's dropping down in the negatives, kind of fluctuating. Again, when it's down in the negatives, more energy comes out. And, I showed you guys that definition the other day. I'll probably pull that back up, my next video or two, just to remind people. But then it kind of went back to baseline here, okay? Things kind of slowed down as far as this goes. But see what our solar wind did? Solar wind's going up, density's coming down, and I spoke about that at length, okay? Temperature, same thing, up, down. Now, both of these, you see this little hook right here? It's mimicking this, so what this means is that this is the solar wind speed's coming back up, right here. And if you look at this, you can actually see the same hook, but it's moving the other direction. So it's dropping the same amount as this is coming up. So, the intensity of the solar wind is actually getting stronger right there. All these three markers tell you that. Okay. You can look at the phi angle. It doesn't look to be doing a whole lot of anything. It is kind of variable. It's jumping around a little bit, but nothing too extreme. The Enlil model here, we'll take a look at that real quick. Again, remember, we look at our range. This is 3 to 700, and this is, 0 to 15. And the density, that's here, okay? So it's really showing you like, 0, 5, 10, 15. So it's really 0 to 20 at the top of that. We don't usually get a reading of 20 on density of any consistency. Okay, we might hit it every once in a while. I've seen a density of over 100, guys. Okay, that's actually happened before. Nothing bad happened or anything, but that happened. So it's important to know this. But this is the velocity. This is simply showing us the speed of the charged particles. That's it. So you have to understand that too. That's the difference. This is the density of those charged particles. This is the speed of them. That simple, right? Now remember, I cut this off about right here. You know what, guys? I'm going to change the size of my mouse. I apologize for that. I should have been doing that from the beginning. Okay, you guys probably see that a little better now. Anyway, up here around, the range is 3 to 7. It's getting close to the 700 at times. Okay, so we cut it off about right here, so we can kind of, these first 3 days here, you can tell how we're going to stay elevated. And then it just doesn't go wham and drop off. It actually tapers off rather slowly. It takes it about 2 days to get back down to what we consider, a more normal wind speed. And again, like I showed you guys yesterday, stereo A, this model has picked up something that's going to affect stereo A. So there was probably either a flare, a small CME, a solar storm on the side of the sun, okay, that's not facing us. So, yeah. So let's check out the auroras. Okay. So again, guys, what you're looking for is how far down this green goes. Okay. Not to mention that this is a pretty good swath of it, and the reason being, again, we're getting more solar weather, guys. This is one of the main markers we can look at to definitively tell people, hey, we could point somebody to an awesome sky picture from an aurora, and that's a direct result of increased solar wind. That's why these things happen. And right now, you know, we're in the season with the McPherson, excuse me, the McPherson, what do they call that? The McPherson effect, I think. Is it still there? I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's up here. Anyway, I think it's the McPherson effect, and we're talking about the cracks in a magnetic field. Okay, that's what that would be. Remember, like I've said before, guys, the magnetic field is not constant all over the planet. All right, you've heard me talk multiple times about the South Atlantic Anomaly. All right, I need to get a graph of that and show it to you guys. You know what I could do, though? Watch this. We'll just do it this way real quick. The South Atlantic Anomaly is over here. Okay? And what that means is the anomaly itself is the magnetics are jacked up in this area. And it used to be about this size. It was over Brazil, out here in the Atlantic, obviously. And now it's splitting and getting bigger. So it's about like this. Watch my cursor here. It's about like this now. And it's kind of splitting in the middle. Like going into two separate anomalies here. So, we're left to wonder why. Well, I think all of us know that we are in the midst of a pole reversal. Okay? Even mainstream will tell you that. They just don't want to put it on blast. Because they simply don't know how long it's going to take for us to actually do the complete reversal. That's why. They don't want to scare people. And the reason they don't want to scare people is because they don't want us going nuts. Because then they lose control and they lose everything that they got. You know what I mean? So, just to give you a little quick, the magnetic north used to be over here in Canada. Alright? It slowly over the years was moving. It's always wandered. It always does. It's natural for the thing to do that. Matter of fact, if you go look at it, it actually starts moving this way, and then it'll start going back the other way. It's back and forth, back and forth. Well, now it's way over here. Okay? Siberia. Well, not Siberia, but way over here going this direction. Okay? I think it is Siberia. But what we look for is, the south pole is also moving too. The North Pole is just moving faster. And they're coming close to each other. Why? Because one of them's negative and one of them's positive. Okay, it's a magnet, right? So negative and positive attract each other. So the poles are actually naturally attracted to each other like that. Once they start moving, right? And eventually they will meet. And they will flip. Alright, they will go the other direction. They will, what is now positive charge on a magnet will become negative. So, what's that mean for our magnets? Well, our compasses? Well, we just got to wait. We got to wait to see where it ends up. That's simple as that. And I'm not, when I say, and I want people to understand this too, when we talk about a flip here, we're not talking about geographically. We're not talking, let me back that off a little bit more so you can understand this. Can I go back even more? Nope, that's as far as we can go out. We're not talking about Santa Claus and his barber pole up here right in the middle. If those were to flip, that would be a geographic pole flip, which means the Earth would turn upside down. Okay? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the magnetics, which would be our magnetic field, guys. The magnetosphere, this thing. Okay? So that would be what was flipping, not the actual part, not the actual Earth. Now there's a whole lot of things that people theorize when we're talking about this, and I'm not going to go too much into that because it will just take forever to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about it here a little bit in just a little while after I get through all this stuff. But what I want people to understand is that the biggest thing I want people to understand, nobody has been here for a reversal yet. Historically, we've not been here for this. Okay, so all we can go off of is what we see in our sedimentary layers, trees. I mean, all these other markers we can look at in nature, right? How things settle, all this, and again, that's how they go off of ice ages and stuff too. That's what they have to go off of. None of us have been around for an ice age. Okay, so it's not like we can say, "Hey, he was here. Go talk to him." We can't do that, right? So the biggest thing I like to point out to people is there's something called the equatorial bubble. Now, I think it's, 30 degrees on both sides of the equator. So it's about this big, I think. You know, I'm just giving you a rough thing here, right? The water there in the oceans is deeper. It's higher. The way it's I think it's, what is it? I'm trying to think here. I think it was like 30 feet higher or something like that. And it goes around the whole equator of the Earth. Their theory is that, and what's holding that in place is the magnetics, right? Our magnetic field. So if our poles reverse, you know what happens? We lose our magnetic field for a minute. That doesn't mean we're all going to just like get peeled off the Earth. All that means is we lose our protection for a minute until it reestablishes itself. So if that magnetic connection is what's actually holding all that water here at the equator, or at least helping do so, if we lose that, what happens? All that water just disperses. It would affect every coastline in the world. Okay? So how deep, how big, it's all up for grabs. People talk about all kinds of different things. We've all seen the doomsday maps and all that kind of stuff. At least most of us have. But we don't know how long it's going to take for that to happen. Everybody has their theories. It could happen overnight. It could happen over a course of years. But they say latitude 40, right? Once magnetic north gets to 40, there is no turning back. It's not going to wander back the other direction. It's going to go ahead and flip. Now, how long it takes, like I said, that's the big thing. So that's what we pay attention to, and that's why we talk about things like that. You know, we haven't talked about the pole reversal in quite a while here on my channel, but things are still moving. Last year, they had to go back up here and refine magnetic north. They had to do that because it had moved further than what they thought, and it was causing problems with airplane navigation and boats, all that stuff. Any navigation that was using that kind of a thing, they were all jacked up. I even heard a couple reports where they were building airport runways, and they actually built them like off on accident because of that. They were using magnetic north to gauge where they should put these runways for the airport, for a couple of these airports, and they built these things in the wrong spot because of that. They built it in the right spot, but they hadn't realized that magnetic north had moved that far. That's why they went back up there a year early. They usually do it once every 5 years. They go up there and find exactly where magnetic north is. But it is definitely, it's moving. We'll leave it at that. Okay? So anyway, this is what we got going on right now. So I'm going to push play on these things and we'll get going with this, because this is something that, again, some people might get a little shocked after seeing these things, because we haven't seen this in a while. Don't get shocked. Don't get scared. Nothing, you know, nothing's going to happen as far as a gigantic catastrophe because of this. Okay? But we already are seeing internet issues. We could see power issues. We could see all that stuff I've talked about. I do think that the longer this stuff hangs around, the better chance we got, obviously, of having some issues. So you're seeing this stuff, and obviously this is definitely a lot more intense than what we typically look at, right? Anybody can probably look at that and see that. So here's the density. And what you're going to see here is we got this little weird looking thing back here right now. I don't know what to make of this. I can just tell you that the density is more intense back here. And that could be for a whole lot of different reasons. Typically, density will build up where the solar wind speed isn't as fast because we get what we call a flushing effect. The faster the solar wind, it'll grab a lot of those denser particles and it'll carry it on out. But what I find interesting right now is you're going to find stuff like start right here. It should move this way. But I've seen it a couple times here where it started here and moved the opposite direction. See, we'll watch it here for a second and see if it does it. You see that right there? It just did it. Right here. See that? One more time. See that? So, you know, I would like to know why. And again, it's not something that's crazy stupid looking, right? It's just something we don't usually see. You know, if we seen it move from here, kind of go here, and still kind of stay connected, and then go back this direction, I wouldn't think so much about it. But it seems as though this stuff is actually starting outside of where it should be, and it's moving the wrong direction. It's got to push harder than the solar wind to get back to the Earth. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Because it has to. So whatever solar wind we're experiencing right here, it has to push harder. Now, it does get a little bit of a break because we have our magnetic field here. It's blocking some of that solar wind. So that if this is like inside of our magnetosphere, truly inside, and not really being affected by the solar wind, then I can see that happening a lot easier. Okay? And that's probably what we're seeing some of it. But when we get these big, gigantic ones that kind of, you know, I just don't see that always being the case. So this is the pressure. Okay? Get in here a little bit deeper. I mean, they just simply call this pressure. Because that's what it is. It's pressure on our planet, or our magnetics, I should say. Okay? Which in turn is our planet. So you're going to see this, and again, we got kind of an egg shape this direction. So that means we're getting pressure from both sides, and it's just kind of squeezing. So, and this is kind of what we would expect. This is why we make, you know, any kind of an issue with geomagnetic storms, because we can expect to see these kinds of things. And when we get the very, very high level ones, you know, we're talking some big issues could actually happen. Most of us haven't really been around for any kind of big issues like that. I guess the one most people could probably remember that we were alive for was the one that happened up in Canada. I think it was 1990, I'll say 91 maybe. Something like that. I can't remember the exact date on that. But they lost part of their grid because of a solar storm. So, you know, that it's happened as recent as that. Why do we think we're immune to this? We're not. I mean, that's just foolish to think that, hey, that'll never happen. Well, okay, you go ahead, you go on believing that. Whatever. So, anyway, so you can kind of see we got this stuff going on here, and this is all typical for, you know, an increased solar wind stream. Alright, so here's our sun. So why is this all happening to begin with? Well, let me show you this. This is why. Let me, I'll zoom in here a little bit. Okay, you seeing that? Now, that's a pretty decent sized coronal hole, guys. Alright, now, again, it's going to fluctuate in size. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get smaller. Always does, always will, right? But we are connected to that, and we will be getting wind from that. For, you know, here, the wind from this exact coronal hole will be here probably in about 3 days. So, but there were other coronal holes out in front of it, even the front edge of this one, that we're going to be getting wind from before this one gets here. So we're going to have a continuous flow of stuff, guys, and that's what I was talking about. Now, this is the coronal hole detector, okay? They plot the outside edges of it, right? This is coronal hole 1, CH01. Typically they put a CHO2 on the other one. I don't know why it's not there. Oh, that's a comparison that they're using. Anyway, this is the coronal hole part. They mapped it out. It even goes down further than what we actually seen on the 193 angstrom. Okay, you can kind of see it kind of faint there, but the detector itself is saying that this hole is bigger than what we're seeing visually. Okay, so that just tells you, hey, the door's open for this stuff right now, and it's coming, it's here. Some of it's already here. Here's the 171. We're gonna push play. We'll watch it a few times. There's really not a whole lot to like point you to, other than the fact that we have those little flares that started happening here. We also had some little ejections going on, small ones, very small ones, and they weren't Earth facing. Okay, so that's why I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this. Actually, one just happened right there. Let's look at the 304. And again, here's that big active sunspot. We have another area we're watching right there that could turn into one. It got pretty bright. But just like natural fashion, the whole phenomenon that we're seeing when this stuff becomes directly Earth facing, like right in here, this area, they tend to get weak and fizzle. We've seen coronal holes close up. We've seen all that kind of stuff. More so in that area right in front of where the Earth is than on any other part of the sun. It's a strange phenomenon, and they're actually studying that now. I've seen some peer-reviewed papers talking about that is actually a thing. They studied this. They went to the data. They proved it that actually happens. So why is it happening just with us? That's the next question I'd be asking. So anyway, you can see how we got activity going all around the sun right now. And what I want to say here, guys, is the fact that this stuff is going to continue. It's not going to stop. We're going to go back up into solar maximum. We're heading that way now. You know, we're not at the bottom anymore like we were a few months ago with solar minimum. We're now going back up towards solar maximum. We're still in solar minimum, but we're leaving the bottom and we're coming off the floor. Let me show you. See this? That's the solar cycle sunspot number progression. Alright, this is basically showing you sunspots. Here's the flux. Okay, this is predicted. So we're going to go up here and I'm going to show you guys this one right here. This is where we're at right now. You see how we were down here a few months ago? Now we're here. So we're starting to come back up. And we're going to continue to go there. Now you see how the steepness of this signature is? So this is 2020, that's 2021 right here, right? So right there from 2021, the beginning of it, that's at a 6.2, right? We go to the peak, and the peak is roughly, we'll go 5 years from there, 2026, 113. So we go from 2.6 to 113. So you can see that, you guys can see that. I mean, and it shows you solar cycle 24 and how it differs from solar cycle 25, right? Solar cycle 25 should be a little bit less. Now down here, guys, is the big timeline. See that? It takes you guys back 200 plus years. So if you guys really wanted to see what this stuff actually does, go research this, because you're seeing, I was hearing people say grand solar minimum and all that, and oh my gosh, the sky is falling type of stuff again. Look where we're at here, and then just simply go back to the beginning of 1800. You guys see these 2 years right here? Those are definitely deeper into a minimum than what we are here, and these people were fine. You see what I'm getting at, guys? That's what I'm trying to say. We're not in a grand solar minimum right now. We're not. We're in a solar minimum, but we're not in a grand solar minimum. A grand solar minimum will probably look worse than this. it will probably drop down way, way low. You know, but anyway. Here's the geoelectric field model. This is solar weather's effect on our electrical grids. It's basically telling you what the chances of having issues are and how intense things can be. And you're seeing it, all this stuff flash around because we are getting solar weather. This is very normal. See how that jumped up like that? Stayed there for a minute too. And it's going to keep doing that. And I'm going to show it to you guys every day. I want you guys to see this. You're going to see the progression of it. So hopefully it'll help everybody. So we'll go over here to space weather. And again, guys, we can expect this stuff. You know, the whole time we're getting this solar weather, you can expect this. Okay? Now, over here, you see this right here? That's 2773. It became a sunspot again. Okay? It lost its signatures there, but it came back, and they gave it the same number, which is what they do. It was here for a day, then they kind of, it degraded, and now it's became stronger again and gained back some of its characteristics. So it's now officially another sunspot. I'm keeping an eye on this, you know, 2019 to 2020, the activity. I'm keeping an eye on the percentage of increase. Because if we go down here and we look, there was only a 2% increase from 2008, which is the same year in the solar cycle as 2019. They only had a 2% increase there. See that? We're sitting at a 6 right now. We were at 10 earlier, probably 2 weeks ago. But then we had, you know, 3 weeks, almost, it was 30 some days without a sunspot. But that's now broken. Okay? That it's no longer a big streak like that. Now again, I don't want people to, you know, think that, because they always use a sunspot to mark this, right? That's all they do. That's the only thing they use. They're just telling you the sun cycle. It's really not telling you how active the sun is, because the sun's very active all over the place right now. But we just now had a sunspot show up, so it's really not indicative of what's actually going on. So you're seeing this right here. They're saying basically the same thing I am here too. Okay, all this stuff could be happening. The G level 1 and all that kind of stuff. So there's that. Okay, guys. Oh man, give me a second, guys. Sorry. Be right back. Give me like 5 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I don't like doing that. I thought I had another pop sitting here. My mouth's getting dry. I got to get something in my mouth there. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, guys, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pin that back. So how you guys doing? You guys doing okay in there? Ricky, how you guys doing? Rip, I see you in there, buddy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Rip. Are the cycles getting shorter? No. Okay. They're not getting any, as far as length of time from one cycle to the other, the cycle's the same. Okay. You know, not to the day, but it is virtually the same. I wonder if this thing is, somebody give me a thumbs up or something in there, see if the chat's moving. I think my chat might be locked up. I bet it is. Yeah, it was locked up. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes it does that. Got to go back and grab it here, and so yeah, I thought that thing was moving. It wasn't moving at all. You guys probably seen it on the screen, but you seen what it does when it locks up. So yeah, looks locked. Yeah, it was. So let me, I'll just pin this again real quick, because I'm going to show you guys a few photographs here, a few images that that we've been kind of looking at. And again, guys, you know, I want to show you guys this one first and foremost. This is the one that, you know, showed up the other day on the 28th of August. There, right? We've had a couple questions about this, and I'm going to try to address it here, okay? Let's go this way. Okay. Now, this was on the 23rd of September. Now, this. Check it out. Now, I'm showing you guys this one because somebody asked a question that this thing was transparent. It's not. Okay. You're looking here. This is the one back in 2018. Okay. And I sent this back over to Scott because somebody asked the question, why does it look transparent? So I asked Scott to go ahead and run this one, because this one hadn't been ran through the programming yet to get rid of all the background noise and stuff. So he did that, and he sent them back over to me, and this is what came out. So, and then there's the one where he left it blue. Now the original, let me find the original. I got the original right here. Okay, you guys see the difference? And it, you know, if you look at that, yes, it does look like it's transparent, but it's really not. Okay, what you're seeing background stars back there, and sometimes that stuff shows up. I often wonder anyway with these things if they don't just program those in there sometimes, because I've seen some really strange stuff with these things. I don't want to say that that's actually what's going on, because I don't have nothing to really show you to prove that. But somebody, you know, was asking, is that transparent? Well, it's not. Okay. You see this stuff right here? Some of this stuff could actually be in front of this object anyway. But all of it's not. I'm sure some of this, like back here in this tail of it, would be part of the background. And again, guys, this is just me trying to show you guys all angles of this, okay? I don't want anybody to have any question about what I'm showing here that, you know, if I'm going to show you something, I think it's actually there. I'm not going to just show you something and say, hey, it's not there. There's no reason to show that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This is the other one, obviously. This is the one that had everybody in an uproar past couple days. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But that's a view of it there. Okay, there's my intro. You guys want to see my intro again? I'm just kidding. Okay. So there's that one. And I wanted to clarify that because that was asked. And I try to address those kinds of things, guys. I want everybody to have the answers that they can, you know, if I can get an answer for you, I'm going to try. That's the same capture there, guys. And all he did was run it through that same program. And that's why it looks like it's, you know, you can definitely tell now that it's a solid object. So, that's what I would say. And, you know, and I know that this sounds kind of crazy. Somebody asked me if that stuff was Photoshop. And, you know, this has been addressed like 1,000 times. But somebody that asked me that was new to the community. So I was letting it go. You know, because I really truly think that was something that it was a real question from that person. I don't think they were trying to troll or anything. And let me say this, okay, so everybody can kind of hear this. First off, I don't even, number one, I don't own the Photoshop software. I don't. Okay? Guess what? Scott doesn't either. So when somebody says something's Photoshopped, we're not using that program. We don't even have those things. We don't even have that program. Now, I understand that, sometimes that gets used as a generic term for any kind of editing, and a lot of times that's kind of what they mean. But if they're saying, hey, you're using that Photoshop program, that's why you can get it to look like this, that, and this. You know what I would tell people? There's something out there called photo forensics. Okay? It's an online service. You can go on there. You can go in there and you can upload the photograph there, and it'll show you what to look for to see if it's faked or if it's been edited in any kind of a crazy wrong way. So if that's the case, I want somebody to prove it with me. Take what we're showing you here, run it through that program, and let me see it, because I'm I've not done it. I don't, I probably should, but I don't have any reason to, because I know that we don't. Yeah, there's no reason for me to even have to do that. But that's somebody's gonna accuse Scott of trying to put something fake there, which is kind of the accusation that's been made a couple times. It's very offensive, number one. Number two, we could be wrong about things, but we're not going to lie. Okay? And again, when they run it, when he runs it through this forensics photograph software that he's been given access to, it will probably show a little bit of it's not the same as the original, because it's not the same as the original photograph. It's clearing up the background noise, but it's not changing what's there, is what I'm trying to say. I hope people understand that. So, yeah. It's really frustrating, because we really try our best to give you the best things that we can. And I get. Let me tell you this. I'll tell you a little bit about me too. And again, guys, I've given you all the information I can give you, so I am kind of past that point. So anybody that's here just to get the info or the data, you could probably skip out, because I'm not going to give you any kind of new anything. I'm just going to speak about what I've already talked about. What I'm saying here, guys, let me get back to where I was at. Yeah, I know, Jason. Hey, listen, most of you guys do know exactly what I'm saying, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I really can't. I mean, it gives us a lot of encouragement and stuff, just to know that you guys appreciate it, and you're here to see what we're trying to uncover and what we're just trying to help things with. So, yeah, Scan, that's, yeah. And I try to be because I know for me, when I first came across this kind of information, none of us believed this right away. You know what I mean? I guess I've never talked to anybody personally that believed this just right off the bat. Right? And you're right, Ricky. Got everyone running down so many rabbit holes to muddy the waters. And that's exactly what's going on. And I think that's why it's important for people like myself and for Scott that are kind of in doing this, that we stay focused on this. And we don't go try to run down something else. We try to, we do this, and this is what we know. Scott's been around this for so long that he's been able to branch out and do certain other things. But on his Planet X news channel, that's what he talks about. He talks about this, right? He's not going to go over here and start talking about reindeer and everything else. Now, I've shown reindeer on my channel because, believe it or not, it was related. But that's what I'm talking about is, he's not going to come over here, talk about this, and then go talk about, politics in Bosnia or something like that. Now, he might go to his news channel and talk about that because that would be appropriate. You know what I mean? But what happens is people get to look at this stuff, and then people become so polarized because it's hard for people to come off of what they think they know. All right? Now, I'm the same way. You guys are probably the same way. We just got to fight that. You know, I'm not so prideful to think that I can't still get like that sometimes. Matter of fact, I know I do. I know I will fight for what I think I know. All of us do, and we should. But when it's there and we see it, and then, you know, somebody wants to tell you that you're wrong, but then they don't show you why you're wrong, or they have no idea why you're wrong. They're just saying you're wrong just to say it. That's the stuff that gets to us. And that's why, you know, we move on from those subjects, because it doesn't do anybody any good to sit there and entertain that. Those aren't the people I'm trying to reach. You know, I want to help you guys and anybody else that has an open mind. You come to a channel like mine with a closed mind, you're not going to get nowhere, but you're going to end up being a troll, because you're going to come at me. And I get it. I know. So what I tell people is this, especially those of us that understand and believe what I'm showing you here. Remember when you first seen this for the first time. Okay? Remember how you felt, what you seen, and most likely you didn't believe what you were seeing. The first thought probably came across your mind, that's photoshopped. Okay? That's probably what came out of a lot of people's mouths. It did mine. I'm being straight up honest. That's what it did. I was like, man, that's got to be photoshopped. No way that's real. You know, and I moved on, right? But eventually, you come back to it with an open mind, and you look at the same thing you thought was photoshopped, and you look at it again, and you realize, oh my gosh, it's not. Then where are you at? Then you're coming back over here asking for information. You know what I mean? So, that's what happens. I've seen it so many times, and that's why I have such a... I'm a lot more lenient on a troll than what a lot of people are. Because I know they didn't start out, you know, wanting to be like that. You know, because we all were at one point, because we didn't believe. We didn't believe any of this stuff. Most of us didn't. I just hope that, you know, we can all understand that and kind of keep that in mind and have at least some sort of empathy for people that are just now coming into this. And unfortunately, we're kind of programmed just to attack those people and get them out, right? Because they're in here causing problems. Well, you know, I think all of us were there at one point, you know. Maybe not to the extent where we would come on these channels and start bashing people. That's not what I'm saying. You know, people that do that are just ridiculous anyway, no matter what subject it is. You know, I'm not going to go to somebody else's channel and just start smacking the crap out of them for no reason, just because I don't believe what they're saying. You know, I'm not going to do that. It does no good. At all. All it does is cause issue for everybody involved. And that's what we try to do. And, you know, that's why we get a little defensive sometimes. Because we put our heart and soul into this. And when people just come at us and they say the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes really hard to be sympathetic with that person and understand that, you know, hey, I was like that at one point in time. And you kind of forget it. And eventually you got to make yourself look back and be like, oh gosh, that was me. Maybe I need to give that person a little extra time. You know what I mean? Hey Scott, what's up, brother? Showing those pictures you ran through there. Appreciate you doing that for me, guy. I mean, seriously. They turned out really good, man. I mean, once again. And I was showing them the difference and showing them why. I haven't shown them this one yet. I was just getting to it. Guys, this is another camera. Okay? It's on the same spacecraft as the Core 2. This is just the core one. This was on the 19th. Look up here. This is the first time I've seen this. Scott's seen this one. And he ran it through the programming he's got, software. And this is what he sees. This is what came out. So, yeah. So now we're looking, at the sun here. Right here. Obviously there's an occulter in front of it, but look up here. And this was on the 19th, and then get to the ones that were, there's one that zoomed in. Jocelyn, you can, if you wanted, I can't give you permission. These are Scott's pictures, okay? But anything I show other than what somebody else's pictures are, you're welcome to take a screenshot and share whatever I show. That's just something I do. I don't put all the extra work and the effort into doing this kind of stuff. I don't have that programming. Scott's doing all that work, so he deserves that credit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I think for the most part, what the biggest issue that me and Scott both have is that somebody taking our photographs here and misrepresenting what we're saying or showing. It's not so much about anything else other than that. We want them to understand this is what we're seeing. This is what we show. We did the work on this. And, yeah. No, that's exactly what I was just saying, man. What I just said, yeah, you basically repeated what I said. Fake statements and videos, exactly. That's kind of what's been happening, and that's why, Scott's drawing a harder line with this. Now, listen, let me tell you guys this, okay? This is what happens. I want to explain to people here in my audience that's listening. Most of you guys listen to Scott too, okay? I get that, but some of you may not. When you do this, when you go look at this stuff, this is all public domain, right? These captures are. But what you're looking at here is not. Scott took the public domain capture, the imaging, and did more work with that photograph or with that image. Ran it through this other software, and when you do that, it becomes Scott's property. That's his work. That's why people say, well, you can't copyright that. Well, yeah, you can. Because he didn't leave it unaltered. He went and he did this work to it. That's why we get to see this like this. So that's why. Yeah, I seen that a second ago, guys. I was going to take you guys over there and show you those earthquakes in a second. I had you guys there in a minute. Thanks for pointing that out, though, by the way, Baker. I really appreciate that. But that's why. I want people to understand that, okay? Scott's not doing this to tell people he can't use the photographs just to be a prick or anything like that. It's not nothing like that. It's about what's right, what's wrong, and people taking his stuff and misrepresenting what he's showing and what he's doing. So, I'm glad you brought that up there. I'm going to go over to Dutch, not Dutch, but over to US. Oh my gosh, guys, check that out. Wow, that just happened. What the heck is going on, man? Whoa. That's live, guys. These just popped off. Look. One here, that was at 1342. Wow. That was 20 minutes ago. Are you kidding me? That was at 12:12, so we're looking a minute apart. Yeah, they've been banging for hours, but these are happening like within a minute apart from each other. And that one was about 15 minutes before that. Okay, so we got a 6-1 here. That happened, that was earlier today though. So we're looking at that. That's a 4-7. That's a 5-2. And then this one up here in Alaska is a 5-6. And that all happened within a period of about 20 minutes. You can feel it? Where you at, Bosworth? Where you at? Yeah, those are good photographs that Scott brought to us, wasn't it? Yeah, I think you're right, Scott. Something else I'll show you guys here real quick. I didn't show you guys this earlier. I'll just bring this up because I'm going to take you guys to the, well, you know what? You know what we could do? Let's do this. Okay, I show people this particular one. Let me tell you why. Hey, Sig, what's up, bud? I show you guys this one because guess what? This is an Australian model. This has nothing to do with the United States. So when people start, blasting me with, hey, that's, government agency stuff and all this kind of stuff, well, this isn't even our country. So, we'll take a look at this one. This gives us a capture every minute. And you can definitely see that thing bouncing around. You see that thing compressing, bouncing? So, we are most definitely taking solar weather right now. Let me X out of that. Let's go here. Where's this one at? There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to take you guys to the older Magnetosphere models. Yeah, look at that thing, man. That thing's getting all bent out of shape. Yeah, that definitely has something to do with it. Wow. Oh, wow. That's, yeah. We'll let that thing load here for a minute. And then I'll zoom in a little bit. We'll take a good look at it. And let me say, guys, if you guys looked at my thumbnail at all, you can see what I put in there, Earthquake Watch. And this is why. 100% why. Matter of fact, I even had it in yesterday's video before we started getting all these quakes. So what you're looking at here, guys, obviously the sun's off to the right. That's kind of what we, obviously most of us know that because we look at this stuff all the time. But this is our bow shock. It's representative of it. It's kind of that same line that was in that Australian model I showed you. Okay? So when we see these things bouncing around, it's just adding pressure. Let me do this real quick. Okay. So. Alright, so I'm going to start moving forward. Watch what happens to the front line out here. Okay? It's going to get compressed. See how it gets compressed in? It gets compressed in, and then we're pushing back. And when we start winning that war, what happens is we get rapid expansion. Okay? And see, that right there is telling me that we are definitely getting some definite high solar weather right now because that did not expand back out. What that means is we're getting constant pressure from the sun right now, and probably from our object out there. Okay? So, if we look at this, yeah, most definitely. I'm just going to push play. We'll watch it a few times go through here. So, sometimes if you play it slow, you get a pretty good idea of what's actually going on out there. You don't take drinks when you watch this now? Oh, really, Brandon? Wow. Yeah, guys, you know, I've been saying this for a long time now. Most people already know this, but we oftentimes forget that, you know, nature is the best predictor of weather. Yeah, I was showing them that stuff earlier, Scott. We're going to get to G2, possibly G3 levels. I guarantee it. I was showing them that coronal hole earlier. Matter of fact, we're on that page right now. I can show it to them again. And the thing of it is, I don't think we're going to get much of a lull. I think we might get a few hours here and there where we slow down. But I don't think it's going to slow down enough to really give us a good break. So what we'll do here, so here's the coronal hole detector. Okay, guys, this right here is what we're going to be experiencing in the next couple days. What we're getting right now is not from this particular coronal hole. It's the one that already rotated off. All right, and I showed you guys that yesterday. Now, you know, it was kind of over on this side. So what I'm saying is there wasn't a whole lot of time in between the effects of that coronal hole and this one. So there's not going to be much of a break. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind, guys, because we're going to get constant weather right now. And that is the website. It is called Brand New Tube. Is that real? I guess I'm kind of lost on that one, Jason. Let's see here. Now this one here also, it shows us some pretty good stuff sometimes too, guys. Let me refresh this page, because this one, it'll show us some, you know, if we're getting hit pretty good, this one typically will show some pretty good variations here. So yeah, that got up into 9. No, look at that. It's staying at like 20, 25 millivolts. That's some pretty good blast going on there. See if it does it again. Nah, it's not going to. A pic of the KP, yeah, I showed that a little bit earlier. It's most definitely. Here's your KP, guys. See that? That's why you're seeing all this stuff going on. That's, like I said earlier when I was showing you guys this, we're not going to get much of a break. You know, this next one right here, because you see this X-ray flux? Remember I showed it to you guys a minute ago? There's actually 4 big spikes if you go back another day. And then you got this one here. That's still a solar flare, guys. It's showing you the fluctuation from normal. Okay? So even though it's spiking down, it's still a spike, which means that it is that was a flare. And that was just a couple hours ago. Now it wasn't just, it wasn't a big one. You flip that around, like I said earlier, you may get a C1 out of that, maybe. I doubt it. I think it would still be a high B class flare. But regardless, it's not that big of a flare. But it's still a flare. It's kind of the middle of the road. You know, if you get up in the middle M class and the X, that's when we start getting into the big bad issues. Okay? You know, anything lower than that, typically we handle pretty well. But this is something else too. You see this? I hate the fact that they went to using this one satellite for this. It makes me sick. Anyway, what's happened here, guys? You know, that's a known eclipse. Watch what it does. See that? It did the same thing last night, right about the same time. Watch. From right to left. You know how you can tell? You see this? That's a double image. That means that it's getting eclipsed on the edge of the light. It's a camera anomaly, and it is coming from the right to left because of line of sight. Basically, the Earth is passing between the satellite and the sun, which means the satellite's on the dark side of the planet looking at the sun. That's what that means. So with this, here's that big gigantic coronal hole that you can see visually here. It does stretch on down here too. And so the Earth, you know, here's the equator of the sun. The Earth kind of sits right there. Alright? But we still connect up here to the interplanetary magnetic field lines. So we still, you know, connect to that. And something else, guys, I really want you guys to understand that, you know, we always, and I said this in my last video, we have to understand that the most important graph that we look at, most people don't even talk about. And we need to. And what is that? It's the BZ. It's up here. When this thing goes into negative, almost every time we'll get a shot. Okay? We can go down here and look at the speed all we want, the density all we want. But typically, if this BZ is not down into the negative, we don't get much of a hit. If we had to look at one thing and one thing only, this would be it. Okay? Most people don't even touch this. I don't know. I don't understand why. You know, I guess people understand velocity and density. They understand that those are words that most people understand. Maybe that's why. Because I kind of avoided this for a while too. I just didn't know how to explain it to you guys until I come across that definition. And it really explained it. Basically, all you got to know is when this thing goes negative, the door's open to all that energy flying out. That's what that means. So, can you help your new people out and tell us what it means? Yeah, I just did. The BZ. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so that's really what, you know, I'm not going to go into the technical what exactly that thing is and what it's actually trying to represent. Because that would take, you know, it'd take a whole video, if not longer, to really explain it the way it needs to be explained. But to understand that if, see this red line? The red and the white line will split from each other, and they're going off this red line. When it gets below zero, it goes into the negative. That's usually when we take our pretty good hits. Yeah, we were just checking that out, Sunshine. I'm going to go back over here. Yeah, there's more. Look here, now we got one down here in the Caribbean. That's a 4-2. So with that, you know, guys, this thing, it's getting really, really active seismically. And the reason why, it's, you know, if you guys watched Dutch's video earlier today, he was like saying, hey, we kind of, we were expecting some energy here, and it didn't make it. Well, it's here now. It's, so yeah. What was blank, Sig? What's going on, bud? What was blank, man? Maybe I can help you out. Yeah, I could take you guys over to the seismo, the helioplots. Hold on a minute. Let's do this. I tell you what, though, I need to close out some of those windows, or my stream will start lagging real bad. Hold on. I'll leave those up. Okay, hold on. Here's the helioplots, and again, guys, we got to understand that where we're getting this stuff from. I'm pointing over there to there now, and I know we don't have a whole lot of other options here, guys. I get it, but we have to keep that in mind. Even Dutch and Scott will tell you the same thing. You got to make sure that, yeah. Anyway, we'll go down through here. Well. Again, guys, you know, when we look at these things, I'm starting to understand these things a little bit better. I'm not the best person for this. I do know what I'm looking at, but I don't know it enough to, like, say, hey, that's normal or not. Obviously, we know if we get this kind of a signature that that's an earthquake, or it's picking up some sort of a vibration. Typically, what we're going to look for, actually, that was in Panama, so that would be in South America, well, Central America. Let's see here. Here's the Caicos Islands, Cuba. And you always wonder this kind of stuff too. Well, look where it's at. They're probably trying to hide something over there. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, almost a lot of them over there in China. Look here, guys. See this? That's in the Aleutian Islands. What happened in the Aleutian Islands? Look. A 5.6. And another one there, a 3.4. Now we got one here in Japan that just popped off. Look. Daggone, man. This is like the other night when I was on. You guys remember that? When I showed you guys this like 2 weeks ago? We started getting earthquakes like one right after the other. I couldn't even get off stream because of it. BLF in China. Yeah. So we'll go down through here and see if we can't. Antarctica, that's actually South Pole. Was there anything going on there? Yeah, down here, but that was hours ago. Yeah, it was 12 hours ago. Huh. Guys, when we get like big ones, it'll ring through almost the whole planet. You can actually see the wave go across by watching these helioplots. It's pretty amazing. Ethiopia is picking something up. That's Africa. Oh, Alaska has a tsunami warning, do they? Well, this says they don't. I don't know. Yeah, there ain't no tsunami warnings right now, according to the official site here. This is NOAA. So, yeah, I mean, I don't. I guess it. Well, I think this is usually where people go to look for tsunami warnings. If there was a warning, you would think it would be there. I don't know. Let's pull you guys back over here. This is a little bit better spot for you. Yeah, we got this one. Yeah, these two. Yeah, I was remember I was saying that, Ricky. This one at 1342. and this one at 12:17. That was a minute, not even a minute apart, guys. Mentioned that earlier, and is extremely strange. You get two bigger size, mid-sized earthquakes like that at virtually the exact same time. Now, they're close to the same, they're in the same area of the world, but they're not close enough to have that kind of an energy transfer that fast. So something happened here. My guess is probably in the middle of there somewhere, and the energy just kind of went out. You could probably draw, if you go right in the middle here, there could be something underneath there, like on this fault line right here, or even right here somewhere. Something happened there, and the energy, went out like throwing a rock into a pond, and it ripples out. That's really how they could happen at the same time. And, again, guys, I can't say anything 100%, any of that kind of stuff. That's just something that I've watched Dutch explain that a few times too. And that's kind of what he's explained that before. I think he uses the word fulcrum point. But, for a fulcrum point, you don't have to be in the middle. You just got to be, one side's heavier than the other and all that. I'm not going to go into that. But in order for it to time out the same way, it would have to happen somewhere close to the middle in between these two. Okay, now see this is kind of odd too, guys. Usually when these bigger ones pop off, you see this? This is a 5.6. It's not like huge. But the majority of the time when you see these like this right here, when you see the depth right away, it'll go to a default of 10 kilometers. So they're already, claiming a depth of 13.8. It usually don't get posted that fast. Hasn't even been an hour. Let's check this one. That one was at 45 kilometers deep. This one here, which just happened, well, that one happened, let's see here. Yeah, those two were like 4 minutes apart. Those definitely have to be related. Again, guys, we got this one. We got this one down here too. What I could do, I'll zoom in a little bit, guys. Maybe we'll get a better look here. Being a little bit more zoomed in. So right now we got this one and this one. They're roughly the same size. That's a 5.6. That's a 5.2. And they basically happened within a minute apart from each other. Okay? So to me, what that means is there may have been some sort of activity right in the middle of them, like in this area. So if that was to happen, like in that area, the energy would, it would spiral out or just kind of ripple out, and then would hit these two locations about the same time. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But this one here was 45 kilometers deep, and this one was only 13. That's a substantial amount, guys. Plate shift from Puerto Rico quakes? Yeah. Those are Oklahoma, I think. Those are, guys, whenever you see these here in Oklahoma and stuff, in Texas, the majority of the time they're fracking operations. Okay? And always here, guys, that's usually Yellowstone in that area of the country. Okay? And we always know that we're going to see stuff down here in California. And that's something that I've known since I was a kid. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Sig, what's up, buddy? Taking off? Brian, how you doing, bud? Body Soul, good to see you in here, guys. Guys, I want to say this too real quick. Anybody still left in here talking to me? I appreciate every one of you guys. I really do. I can't tell you guys that enough. You guys really, you brought me out of how big was Oklahoma quakes? Not very big. We got a 3-1. Is it going to let me click on the other one? A 3-1 and a 2-5. Hey, Gladys, how are you? Good to see you. Well, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. Daughter of the King, back at you. Thanks, Sunshine. You guys really brought me out of a dark time in my life. I have to just say that, because it's really what happened. You know, and I was lucky enough to find good people like Scott to be my, you know, to kind of mentor me. Hey, Trinity, how you feeling? And, you know, Scott's just kind of brought me along. I've learned a lot, you know, with his help and with you guys' help too. And, you know, he's been a good friend to me. And, you know, we don't just talk about this stuff, guys. We're friends, okay? We know each other. Obviously, that's just something that, you know, it's more than just this stuff between me and him now. It's a friendship. And I wouldn't change it. So people that try to come at me and all that kind of crap, you can kick rocks. That's all I can say to that. I'm not going to, you know, that's just not me. I'm not going to roll over like that. Just know. I want everybody to know that, because, you know, he takes a lot of crap, and we all take a lot of crap. But guess what? We take a lot of crap for each other, and it all evens out for the most part, and we still stand there with each other, not in front or behind, but next to each other. We're standing there side by side. And I'm not just talking about me and Scott, I'm talking about all of us. We're not going to back down, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to tell people, because at this point, there's no reason to even give in to this crap at all. So, Trinity, are you feeling okay? I didn't get to see your comment. Did you drop one for me? Isaiah, good to see you, Granny. Yeah. Hope you're feeling okay, Trinity. Dream Warrior, you know, if that's a legitimate question, I think it is. Hopefully you're not trolling in there. But Claudia's doing good, guys. Okay? There's really no, you know, not going to go too much more into detail with that, because it just doesn't, you know. Just know that she's okay. She's taking a break, and that's what she needs. So, hey, birthday, how you doing, buddy? There's the Resonance Master right there. Go to his channel if you want to know about the Schumann. 100%. That's right, Menacing. That's shoulder to shoulder. And let me tell you something. Scott tries to step in front of me all the time, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. He's out there, man. I mean, he protects us. He really does, from a lot of stuff. And he doesn't care. He will, yeah. So, yeah, Trinity, we all care. You know, that's a rough thing to go through. It really is. It just, you know, we all hate to hear that kind of stuff, you know. Any kind of cancer at all is just horrible. Even recovering, even I know if you think you're going to, you know you're going to feel bad and stuff, but just that just that one word, it's just so, it's frustrating. And I know I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to you, Trinity, because you're going through it. I've never went through that. And I hope I never have to. But Yeah. Yeah, Trinity, we appreciate you, and you guys need to go check her channel out too, guys. She does some good stuff over there. Much like she takes the time and tries to make it look good, and I try to do the same. I'm getting better at it. I do think it matters, guys. I don't, you know, I understand people don't have this, that, and the other, and you know, getting started out, I get that it's not going to look really all that great. But you can tell when people really have a passion for it and try to do their best to give the best product out there that they can. You know, I have to say this. I've spent some money, but the majority of the stuff that I have that I use is actually free. Okay? So it's you can make your channel look halfway decent for free. It takes some time. It takes a little bit of help of trying to understand what's going on and how to do certain things. But you can make it happen. You know, guys, like I said, I did all my recording on my phone until I started doing these live streams. I ran my YouTube channel on my phone for almost 2 years. And I can tell you this, the stuff that I put out there on my phone looks, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but it looks better than half the stuff out there. It just, give me a second. Monitor. Oh, yeah. I got you, Scott. Hey, Scott, I seen your comment in there. Quit moving that chat around. Was that you that said that? I was laughing at that one because you're right. I was moving that stuff around like crazy that one video. I don't know what was wrong with me that day. I'm setting up my OBS right now. I am. I'm setting my OBS, so I'm going to have my chat in a permanent spot. So just know that. My goal, probably what I'll do is I'll have a transparent background for my chat. That way we can still kind of see what's behind it, because I don't want to take up too much of the screen. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah, Brian, that's, you know, guys, that's kind of what me and Scott have been doing as of late. We've been kind of going back through some of our older captures. And even stuff that we might not think is a whole lot of anything. And now that we have access to the new photograph software, I don't have, he does. We're able to look at stuff in a little bit different way. It does bring out stuff. And that's, you know, that, well, let's do this real quick. Oops. Come on, man. Throw some rocks at me for moving that chat around again. Sorry, I'm just having fun now. Okay, this is what we've seen. Remember, guys, this is 2018. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, Scott, I know. I'm sorry, man. Hey, let me tell you guys something. The stuff that I'm doing that kind of bugs you guys a little bit when it's distracting and stuff, I find myself saying the same exact thing about other people's channel. So I know it bugs people sometimes. I don't mean to do it. It just happens. Sorry. Anyway, you got that one, and that's the original, right? This is back in 2018. So we go from that, and now we got Scott ran it through that new software, and this is what we get. So, you know, what is what here? What's better, right? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's going to show up now because we were smart enough to save this stuff. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Streaming live isn't all that easy. It is getting easier because, like OBS, if anybody uses OBS, most people are now switching over to StreamYards, which is okay. But something I've noticed with StreamYards now, guys, they're wanting everybody to become Prime members. So for all the bells and whistles on that, you got to pay like 12, 14 bucks a month to get all those extra skins and all the extra stuff that they, are saying is so great. And that's what makes it easy. If you're a Prime member to something like that, it's as simple as clicking a theme, and it will take all this information that I've had to put in this, that, and the other on OBS, and it'll place it with just one click. That's the kind of easiness that stuff does. And it does work really, really well, but that part does cost money. So I don't have that one right now. Yes. You're right, Menacing. It was. That actually happened twice. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, one of these nights I'm going to go back. Well, you know what? Let's do this real quick. Just so everybody can kind of see what's going on here with what my channel has done. So, this is my channel, guys, right? Let's go to videos. And, we can go down through there and look. I have to say, that was one of the most awesome captures right there. My gosh. Me and Scott were both completely floored that was even in there. We kind of looked at it, and both of us was like, yeah, something might be there. And I kind of actually forgot about it. But then I remembered that they had pulled this image out of there. It's not there. You can't find it on Seeds. It's gone. The image up before it and the image after is there. So then I was like, man, what is going on with that? And then Scott shot that picture. He fell asleep, so when he woke up, the stuff was done processing. And he was like, I read you guys' message. He was like, I didn't think anything was going to be there, but there was. It's crazy, man. But anyway, you can see, I want you guys to see the progression of my channel and what it has done as far as, and I'm going to go down here to the beginning. I know I'm kind of flipping down here pretty quick. It's not going to take me all the way back to the beginning of my channel, but it'll take me back a little bit over a year, I think. It might take me to the beginning. I can't remember. It took me way back to 2 years ago. This was one of the first videos I posted. Okay? And I'm showing you guys this because I was going to actually... Scott, are you still in here? The reason I'm saying that, you see this? I was going to send that over to you the other day. That was actually on the 21st of August, 2008. That's right, Sharon, we are. You see that right there, Scott? Let's do this. Let's just open up the video.
Hey guys, Blue Kool-Aid.
Hey, yeah, you guys remember that? Blue Kool-Aid, that's right. Hey, I'm still Blue Kool-Aid, I'm just in Wages World. Anyway, let's see if I can't find it. Did you guys hear that audio, how crazily bad that was? I can't believe that yeah, anyway. I'm going to change the size of my mouse here real quick. It jacks with me while I'm trying to... Sorry, I got quiet there a little bit. Now, you guys see this right here? This site right here? That's SETI. That was 2 years ago. We can't get to this site anymore. they don't let us have access to. They basically shut it down. And it's really frustrating because we got really good quality, high definition pictures there. Now this is the stuff I talked to you guys about before. Now you guys see these shapes, right? And I've shown you guys the pictures of the actual camera, and you can see they're perfectly half moons. They're basically, this is half of a tube, and all these cameras out there are tubes. You can even see the little indentation of the middle of it where the hole would be for the channel for the camera to take a capture. You don't see it here because it's pivoted. There are baffles inside of these tube cameras. They move. They are controlling the light so it can get the best picture it can. Not everything we see, though, I have to say, is a camera flaw. Okay? Like, well, I halfway forgot about this stinking video. I'm going to push play.
That was interesting.
Let's just see what we get. Okay, so yeah, I get this big bright thing over here on the side. And then this down here, look at this thing. That is October 8th, 2018. I guarantee if Scott ran that through, Scott, if you can hear me, man, you ought to run that one through your program. That thing is like, I mean, look at it. You almost don't even need it. It is just like, it's there. It's crazy. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Let's take it back to normal. Let's do this for a second. That made it a little bit bigger. See that? You guys can see that is a sphere. You can't tell me anything other than that. And what makes it even more crazy, the other one I showed you guys was in the same spot from Core 2. Okay? So, but these are 2 different days, a couple months apart from each other. Guys, you know, why is it different in a different position? Well, because it's going to be, you know, we are orbiting around the sun in a year, right? Well, each planet's year is different. So just because the satellite's orbiting with us the same time frame, it's going to get a slightly different view. Okay? But this one isn't. This one's actually out. This is over on Stereo A, I think. This is out there, and it stays out there on that. Okay. I'll check it real quick. Are you sending them now, Scott? And they're not there yet. It says downloading a photo. So that's the last one I got from you. I don't see any pics yet, though. Anyway. So you get this one, right? I mean, look at that. I just don't see how people can... And just to show you guys how much my channel's grown and how much I understand more than what I did, you guys can go back and watch some of these, and you can see that, you know, I'm over here showing you some of these all sky cams, and I would never do that today. Okay? Like this right here. You know, some of this stuff I even thought about just getting the heck off my channel altogether. Some of them I actually did delete because they were so cringe to me now that I was making mistakes, and I didn't want people to go look at that stuff and make the same mistakes thinking something was something that it wasn't. The all sky cams, guys, these right here, these, they're not designed to see anything in high definition. They're there for air travel, to see if thunderstorms and stuff are going to be there. I mean, it's pretty much what it's for. They were never designed to see anything at all in the, you know, pretty much in the sky. Now, I know, you know, I did show people this before. If you guys have never seen this, you might check it. It's interesting. Okay. You guys see this up here? Well, you guys see my mouse? Watch my mouse. I know it's small right now, but right in there, see how it's going through and hitting this woman in the head? You guys really need to check that out. Yes, Scott, you're 100% right. They're fisheye lenses. They will bend everything in different directions. And there's so many lens flares and distorted pictures on there. And, and I didn't realize that at first. You guys can go back and look at the date on some of this stuff. Now, see, this is a picture of the magnetosphere from back then. 2 years ago. So this is showing you that we've been dealing with this stuff for a while. Okay? But let me tell you something. We're all still here. That's something me and Scott have gotten really, really good at doing is putting this stuff out and letting you guys know that the world's not going to end tomorrow. It's just not. And that's just something that I want people to understand. But with that being said, does not mean that we should not be prepared for any kind of catastrophe stuff, okay? Because we should. That's why we're doing what we're doing, because we care. Nothing more, nothing less. I make zero amount of dollars out of doing this, and I do it because I actually care about people. And Scott will tell you that there's no way in heck you're getting rich off of any kind of YouTube channel in this genre. It ain't happening. They bury your stuff. Maybe back in the day, way when it first started, but not now. Now you guys know what this is? This is that. This is I think it's over there in Africa. And we're talking about lost civilization stuff here, guys. But it's when I first got into it. And here's those. You guys remember this? That's Saturn. And people were like, "Oh my gosh, look at that!" I don't even know what come of that. Just so everybody knows, I just don't know what happened. It's like beams were coming off of Saturn. It was probably, I'm not sure if it ended up being some sort of a. Now you guys see that right there? That's because my phone went sideways. That's what I'm saying, guys. This is what my channel used to look like, and it's almost embarrassing. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious, man. I don't even. Wow. Scott, why'd you let me do that? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, hold on a minute. Yeah, let me upload these photos. Oh, wow. These are good. You guys are going to like these. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we do what we do. Sorry guys, I got quiet there for a minute. I'm uploading a couple photographs to my computer here. That way I can show it to you. Scott sent them over to me. Brian wanted to see some of the... There's a couple from this date here. It was 9/10/2017. These are the ones that when we had that big flare. Well, I think there was either 2 or 3 that day. Okay, hold on a minute here. Let me, I'm going to just get out of all that. Alright, we haven't had any new earthquakes here in a few minutes, so maybe things are going to quiet down. So let me, come on. Yep, you're right, Scott. You're right. So, Brian, if you're still in here, man, this is what you wanted to see. This is 2017. Let me zoom in. I do that every time. Okay. So you guys see that? I mean, yeah, exactly, Alejandra. But you know what? Yeah, I think you're right too. You're talking about this right here. I looked at that when I first seen it, and I was like, man, there's a big one and a small one. And this is exactly what we've been seeing, guys. Okay, we ain't just been seeing one object, just so everybody knows. Okay, let me back this off. I'll tell you what I'll do. Is I'll do this. That's better. So if you guys see that right there, I'll tell you what. Let me go to the next pic, the red one. Might be able to see it better. Yeah, you guys see this? This is what a very, very intense flare CME will look like. No, that's not Venus. Guys, look at this. Let me explain this to you too. Oh, I will. I haven't downloaded them yet, Scott. I need to download them off my photo drive. That way I'll zoom in here real quick. I didn't know if Brian was still in here or not. I wanted to give him a chance to look at him. That's who wanted to see him. So let's do this. Scott, I'm moving the chat around again, bud. not Scott, Sion. Alright, let me download this one. Daggone it. Hold on a minute, guys. You guys seeing that right there? I mean, it's crazy. I guess I could. I'm not sure if I could change the brightness or not on that. Yeah, guess I could. But you guys can clearly see that is definitely, and then yes, there's two objects, right? There's one right there. I mean, no doubt. No doubt. Wow. Okay, let me say this real quick too. Did I change anything by going like this? I didn't, did I? All I did was increase the light. But all of a sudden, that makes us jacking these photos up just to try to get what we want. See what I'm saying, guys? That's exactly what I'm saying. There's nothing changed here but the brightness. That's it. Look at that. Hey, good to see you, Teresa. How you feeling? Teresa, did you ever email me? I didn't see it if you did. If you got a different email name, just put in there your put in there your YouTube name in the email. That way I know it's you. In the subject header line. Let's do this. Sometimes, sometimes you start clicking through filters, guys, and one that you wouldn't think would really show anything. Scott Bosworth. Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? You're probably going to find out where I live and just come and smack me in my face for moving this chat around so much tonight. Anyway, sometimes we'll be clicking through these and just doing that. You see how it changed? Sometimes it lets other things get drawn out. What's Ezekiel's will? That's a big question, man. Do we know distance? No, we do not. And the reason why, we can guess, but the satellite's out there, right? We don't know how close this thing is to the satellite because these are not plotted objects. Okay? There's no reference for us to go to. So, yes, this looks like it's out by the sun, and this one probably is. No big deal, Ricky. You're good. And the reason why this one's out there is because the sun's reacting to it. That's how we can kind of know. And when Scott first discovered the 28-day orbit thing, and I went back and researched it for him and was trying to, show people that, hey, every 28 days we're having CMEs right here in this spot. Every time. Exactly where Scott's saying this planet should be. Or this object. And I mean every time. Months in a row for over 2 years. So you tell me the chances of the sun having a CME in the same exact spot every 28 days or roughly thereof, a day here, a day there, back and forth, for 2 years. I mean, tell me what the likelihood of that would be. Not very likely, unless there is something out there perturbing the sun. And most likely, there's way more than one. Because this one here has got an object with it, which is either another, well, I don't want to say planet, because we really don't know what it's more likely some sort of a core, just something there. But it's carrying like moons or a planet with it. If this is a moon, that moon's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times the size of Earth. Because the white circle here, guys, is the size of the sun. Okay? So if you take this and you put it in there, what do you get? It's about half the size of the sun. Half to 3 times, right? So we start clicking through these even more. This is one of the things that we do, and just to see if we can make things pop. Look at that. Wow. You see what I mean? All I did was change the lighting. That's it. Now you tell me that see what I mean, guys? I mean, come on. Is it on the same time schedule as far as, the 28-day cycle? Yeah. Yeah, I can do that in a second there, Sunshine. I think he's talking about the 28-day schedule, Scott. I think he's talking about if is it still on that 28-day orbit. And I think that my opinion, I think Scott shares his opinion. Yes, it is. But there's other objects out there too. So, you take that for what it's worth, And let me say this too. We think that the main object we're talking about is most likely some sort of a core, all right, with a very, very intense magnetic field. Okay? With that being said, that means it's going to engage with the sun and cause reactions. Some of the majority of the rest of those objects do not have a magnetic field like this does. So they would not be perturbing the sun as much. Alright, it's all about magnetics, guys. It really is. We're finding more and more that yeah. Yeah, Scott hit it right on the head there. When we get into Solar Max in about 3 or 4 years, guys, just hang around. I'm telling you, please. So, I mean, it just is what it is. We get into Solar Max, we're going to see some crazy stuff. But let me tell you this, okay? This thing, and you know what? My next video, guys, I'm going to show you, like I showed you before, because we get a lot of these questions like, how can something orbit the sun that fast? Did you guys know that there's 2 gigantic stars out there that they've seen that are doing it? One of them's orbiting the other in like 11 days. Or was it 11 minutes? Was it something like that, Sky? I can't remember. It was extremely fast for 2 big objects. So for somebody to tell me that this object here, if it is our Planet X object, it can orbit in 28 days. It's not like way out of the question for that to be happening. So, I mean, that's what I would say there, because that is a fact. Yeah, guys, read that what Scott just said there, okay? Australia's going to get hit in about 3 months, about 90 days, with some very, very massive heat. That stuff's going to start happening more and more. I guess I could do this. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, I know, Scott. It is, guys. It's going to be bad. And you guys know I don't like talking like that. But when it's the truth, I have to say it. I wouldn't be doing you guys right if I didn't. And I try to put the most positive spin on things as I can. But it gets really hard to do stuff like that when we're talking about these specific subjects. So what I'm going to do here. I think I showed you guys this article before. Okay. This is one of the things that we look at when we're talking about stuff, especially like heat waves and things like that. This is proof of things are changing. Okay. What you guys are looking at, I talked to you guys earlier about the South Atlantic Anomaly, didn't I? This is it right here. This is official stuff. You guys see how big that is now? Let me do this. I'm going to mute it. I don't want these things. Okay, it is muted. So watch this. Watch what happens with this thing. You see that? Did you see that at the end there? I wish I could. Okay, so you guys see that, right? Yes, that anomaly is splitting. Yes, most certainly is. It's always been here, guys, as long as we've been alive. But it's been growing. It's been moving. and now it's splitting into two. It's over here next to Africa now. It spans almost the whole southern Atlantic. So what's that mean? Well, it means that magnets in this area are not going to work correctly. And a lot of other things that it would take so long to talk about. But there's so many theories on what's going on here. You guys really should go check this out. And do some research on it for yourself. So, it used to be one, and it was probably about this big if you guys can see my cursor. Okay? So it's spread out over here. It's spreading that way. If you guys look here on the edge, they may have to change the name of this. Because it's getting into the Pacific. The Earth's wobble is increasing and it will cause severe weather. Yes. I actually have proof of that from last night. Scott, I'm not sure if you've seen that or not. I showed you guys the Northern Lights. The Auroras, right? That tool I showed you guys. Let's go there. Let me get there so I can explain it to you guys. This live stream I can tell it's gonna be long. So I don't care. We're doing this. We're having fun. So we're learning some stuff. So I'm gonna keep going with it. Anyway. What was I talking about, guys? Just kidding. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry, I had to mute there for a second. I had somebody walking through one of my kids were walking through the house. So, cool. Let's see here. What was I talking about, guys? I know we're talking about the shift and all that. D-Lot, you're right. Oh, I was going to show you that's what I was going to... Never mind, I remember now. Okay, now, what I showed you guys yesterday, and this is kind of what Scott's talking about. Earth wobble, right? Well, our tilt, okay, we tilt anyway through the seasons. That's what gives us our seasons. I think most of us know that, right? This is our northern lights. What is our northern lights? Well, it's basically solar wind interacting with our magnetic field, and it's getting through, right? Stuff's bouncing around. There's a lot of science there, but this is going to follow where the magnetics are. Okay? So if you see the continents and stuff come out of the center, because this is the center, this is the axis of the Earth up here. This right here is geographic north. Okay? You can already see where it's offset. The reason why, well, we're tilted and our magnetic north is changing positions. But as we do Earth wobble, which it wobbles back and forth. Now I know a lot of Bible believing people will talk about how it says it'll wobble back and forth like a drunkard, that kind of thing, right? If that has anything to do with what we're showing you, I don't know, but I'm gonna push play. I want you guys to watch this thing. Okay, the center of it's here, right now. But watch what happens. It's slowly creeping this direction. Okay, now some of that would be natural tilt, but other of that is Earth wobble, a little bit. And when we say wobble, it ain't wobbling in like 5 minutes, okay? It's going back and forth like days, right? So, yes, a slow wobble, 100%. You hit it right on the head. But that's what this is kind of showing us. It doesn't show us exactly, but seeing how this goes off of magnetic north, it gives us a better idea of where the continents and the oceans are underneath it. So if the planet is moving, the magnetics not necessarily are moving the same way. They're going to kind of stay in the same spot. But, because our core, well, theoretically our core causes our magnetic field, this does follow the Earth's wobble some, but you will see a slight little discrepancy when we do wobble. You're timed out. Hey mods, did somebody time Suzanne Ann out? In my what happened? Somebody get it? I don't know. I wasn't even reading. Yeah, Scott. I mean, we see some crazy stuff. Actually, me and my wife today was talking about how even during the day, like we went outside, and it was like yellow. The sun wasn't even. We didn't have clear skies, but we've been noticing like yellow skies really, really bad. When it gets cloudy, and I think some of that is because of the wildfires on the West Coast. As a matter of fact, I know some of it is that. But I'm not sure all of it is. So, yeah. How you doing, Kim? We're just hanging out, being casual tonight. Just going over some pics and stuff that people are wanting to see. And just trying to answer some questions and hanging in there, I really don't have much else to do tonight, so I'm just going to hang out with you guys. And show you guys some of the older stuff that we went through and looked at. What I will do, guys, you know what I could do? Let's do that. I'm going to go back over here to my Google Photos. And we'll scroll down through here. And you guys can kind of see. Yeah. Yeah, Scott. I mean, that's... Are you on the West Coast, Scott? Scott Bosworth, I should say. We'll go with there. How you doing, Kelly? Good to see you here. Okay, guys, this is the original. If you look at this, you can actually even see from the other day. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you're right, man. Scott Bosworth, you're killing me with that stuff. Wow. This is something, I never got a chance to really talk to Scott about this. He's in here, so maybe I'll ask him now. Look at this, man. Can you see that? And if you watch it in motion, I could go back and get the video, I guess, but it's like something and it like dispersed like vertical and took that shape. I mean, it was really odd. I mean, completely odd. But that right there, guys, it don't get much more intense around our planet. That's definitely, that was from the other day. And and I always throw this in here that, listen, a lot of this stuff is because of these objects that's come in, okay? It just is. Here, we were talking about this a minute ago. People were asking what this was. Let me read it again. The most important parameter is the BZ component of the sun's magnetic field, okay? When the BZ goes negative, this is what you guys need to understand. The solar wind strongly couples to the Earth's magnetosphere. In other words, the sun connects really, really strongly to Earth's magnetics. Okay? With that being said, I've showed you guys before multiple ways. Let's do this real quick. I wonder if I can bring out a... I was looking for a draw tool, but I guess there ain't one there. Huh. Okay, well maybe I won't bring that out. Anyway, the more negative BZ goes, the more energy that can be transferred. It says resulting in more geomagnetic activity. Like just exactly what I was showing you guys earlier. Other parameters to watch are what? The density and the solar wind velocity. I said the same thing. As these determine just how much energy is transferred when BZ is negative. Okay? So that's why, a lot of people just completely buzz right by this BZ. And yes, that was a pun I used on purpose. Buzz and BZ. Anyway, people need to talk about this more. Because this does actually help understand that, sometimes when this BZ goes kind of crazy, it's because our object is out there messing with the sun. So, Yeah, Z-Lot, I think a lot of us are on that same page, bud. I showed you guys some of those beams myself, right? Let's just do this. I think I got some captures of them, actually. Let's get done with that. Okay, I want to show you guys this too. You see this? All right, this is what I want you guys to picture this, okay? Picture you guys are standing behind the Earth looking at the sun. Okay? This is exactly what our magnetic field would look like in that position. The sun directly in front of the Earth out here, right? See how three-dimensional it takes now? Can you see how it could come in easier on the poles instead of having to go through all these layers to get to us? This is why. Okay? Because it's three-dimensional, not two-dimensional. It's more like a donut. If you brought this all the way around to the back side, it would look just like a donut. So I hope that helps people understand exactly what we're looking at when we're talking about the magnetosphere, and the magnetopause, all that stuff, right? So if you're standing right here behind the Earth, the sun is where we can't really see it because it's right in front of the Earth. This is what our magnetic field would look like. So yeah. Go back to here. Now this is going through some of the CMEs from the other day. Scott already ran that through those programs, and we can see stuff in there, right? Here's some of the other ones he did off a cactus before seeds dumped the imaging back in. Yeah, if we're talking about, you know, poles become danger now, listen up, okay, on this part of it. Cosmic rays get in easier up there, guys, okay? That's just pure radiation. It's simple as that. So that's why we talk about the cosmic rays. And yeah, guys, I mean, can you see how many, you know, how many archived photographs me and Scott both have now? You know, Scott's got way more than me, and half of these I'm showing you came from Scott. Hey, Exile, how you doing? Okay, that's cool, Teresa. Just email me, girl. I mean, seriously, I would really like to hear from you, okay? And, you know, I know Teresa appreciates it, but we all got to pray for her, okay? Guys, she's not feeling well. She's sick. Yeah. Most of you guys know she's in hospice right now. So we need to, you know, give her all the prayers we can give her, okay? She's been with my channel for a very long time. You guys see this? This is exactly what we were talking about a minute ago. You're alive? That's cool. Good to see you, though, Exile, seriously. Yeah, did you have a question, Debbie? I'm sorry. Did I miss a question there? I apologize. Birthday, how you doing, man? You doing man? You do a really good job showing people what that Schumann is, man. I mean, it really. Harold, what does that mean? You need to explain that right now, or you're not going to be on my channel no more. Mods, take care of that for me, would you? That's the kind of, if it is exactly how I'm reading it. Yeah. Yeah. That's, you know, you just don't say that to somebody in that position. Well, you got us, Teresa. We're here for sure. And yes, right there, Wise Al said it. Prayers work. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I mean, guys, I mean, that's, you know, that really, I hate that when people, man, my God, has nothing to do with what we're even talking about here. And, yeah. My, man, people just never cease to amaze me how just brutally disrespectful you can be to somebody and insensitive. I mean, my gosh. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Gosh, man. But you know what? We're going to move on. This is one of those other ones that we went through, guys. You guys remember this one? This one was really, really crazy. You know, both me and Scott were like, what in the world? What is going on with this thing? You know, here's an object. You can clearly see that. And this was not even going through Scott's software. This is exactly what it looked like. So, yeah. And this thing here was moving faster than this. It caught up, and at this point where it caught up, it actually reached out and touched this thing. Okay? I mean, it was something just nuts. Yeah, that's what I mean, dude. It is a whoa. But you guys remember the ones I just showed you up here from Dutch, right? This? Well, I was just going through some of these other ones, and look. So, yeah. Does that not look? Oops. Like that. So yeah. It is yeah. I mean, there's so many things that guys, let me say this. Most of us, the best that we can do is just make observations, including myself. Okay? And you know, we go to people like Scott and others to actually try to learn and figure out what the observation actually could be. And, you know, like I said, I'm sure you guys have seen how I have progressed as not necessarily a YouTuber, but just in the knowledge I've gained from this subject, and a lot of it came from Scott. And I'm telling you, don't sell yourselves short. You guys can understand this just like anybody else can. You really can. But I thought this was interesting. When all this showed up, and then, you know, right before the day, this is Elon Musk. It's his avatar. You guys probably seen this. But the day our Navy, or the Admiral come out and was talking about the DE beams, okay? Elon Musk changed his icon to this. That's not a coincidence, guys. I'm sorry. That was planned. No doubt that was planned. I don't see how it could be anything different. Oh, I was going to show you guys these two. These are just kind of neat. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you guys this one first. Okay, what this is this is the sun without any filters right here in eastern Indiana, looking up at the sky about, I think it was like 4 o'clock or 5, something like that, with no filter or nothing, but this is what the sun looked like because of the forest fires, right? So we'll toggle through, and you guys see this, right? See a little bit different color, all that kind of thing. And I'm showing you guys this just to prove a point. So you guys see this, right? Most people would be like, what is causing that? Oh my gosh, you know, that kind of thing, right? Well, let me show you. You know what that is? It's this stuff. You know why? Because this right here is a piece of dirt on my windshield. So when we're looking at like those like anything looking through glass, this stuff happens. The sun didn't do anything there. That was just me taking a picture from inside my car through my windshield. Yeah. So Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. To even be put in the same sentence with a guy like Dutch is an honor. I mean, it just really is. Oh, man. Gosh. Jerry, yeah, you're right, man. It's like I, go put www.washme.com on somebody's car. It ain't been washed in 5 years. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah. Heron, I'm going to address that, okay? Let me tell you why. Because we have a woman that's been a friend of the channel. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it one time. She's afraid. She's a friend of the channel, and she's in hospice. And then somebody goes on here, spoke the truth, spoke his truth. That's what I'll say to that. That poor woman is extremely sick. And for him to come on here and say something like that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. That may be true. But he did not have to come on there and do that right underneath her comment. That's what I'll say. Okay? There's ways to do things and there's ways not to do things. And if we're going to be adults and try to get people to understand things, we need to do things like adults and not do disrespectful like he did. If he was truly trying to help her and not trying to spam my chat about this, he would have come at her a way different way. It would have been more like, hey, maybe, can I email you? I got some information that might help you. Instead of putting it out there on blast like he did. Yes, and she could have seen it. But now, because of the way that it was presented, she would probably give him the finger and turn around. You can't come at nobody like that and get them to think they're going to believe anything. It was disgusting. Forget the fact that what you're saying might be true. It's about how you talk to people and do things like that. It shouldn't happen like that. And to be frank, I can't believe you're defending that. Just saying. When you come at somebody like that, they're not going to hear any information you want to try to help her with that could be the truth. So instead of trying to push a narrative about some gold, how about try to help somebody in the right way? If you truly thought you were going to help her, get some emails. Do it behind the scenes. You don't need to put it out there like you're some hero. That's BS, man, and it pisses me off. There's no time to send an email? Are you kidding me? You know how ignorant that sounds? Man. Wow. Man. That's all right. Hey, I let that one fly on that one. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I should calm down a little bit. But my gosh, man, somebody in our little genre is having a hard time, is in hospice, and they're going to talk like that about something like that. I don't see how I could react any different. Wow. I mean, I just can't. I can't fathom the fact that somebody would be like that. My gosh. Wow. It's okay, Kajo. We're going to move on from it because it's really not worth me even talking about it anymore. Because it just, yeah, it was disgusting. That's what I'll say. And I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, you're fine, Nita. I'm moving on, guys. Okay? Sorry, seriously. It just, wow. I've had family members, and most of us have, that have been in hospice, and we see how they feel and look. And if you're trying to do things the right way and trying to get people to hear, if you don't want them to think that you're crazy, you don't come at them straight up like that. They're not going to accept anything you got to say unless you do that kind of stuff in the background first. Why put that out there for the whole public to see? Okay. No, thank you for changing the subject, because I need to calm down for a second. My God. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm uploading some photographs Scott just sent me. I want to show them to you guys. Yeah, I'm good, guys. Thank you. I mean, I can't let stuff like that go. You guys know how passive I typically I am. But when somebody comes to somebody that obviously we care about, I don't even know her from Adam, but I know what she's going through. And, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm going to download these first so I can open them up in my... guys, it takes so much to get me to that point. I mean, I wanted to hop off when I first seen it, but I asked the mods to take care of it for me. Wow. You know what's sad about that? There are stuff like that that possibly could help Teresa. You know what I mean? And now, my gosh. It just, if you really want to try to help people and not be the hero for somebody or to, try to push a narrative, you just don't do it like that. If anybody believes in the Bible, you know what God says about that kind of stuff? When you give to somebody, or you're helping somebody, or you're trying to help them, if you proclaim it from the mountaintops, that is your reward. That's it. That's what you get. You don't get anything else than the knowledge that somebody's seen you do that. If you do it in the background like a true, like if you really wanted to help them, you're going to get blessed a lot more. That's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, I am going to move on from that because it's just going to get me. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I mean, I'm sure you guys didn't come here for that. That was just ridiculous. Yeah, Scott just sent these to me. I'm going to show you the original first, which is this one. And I think he sent me this one just so I can show you what this programming can actually do. Okay, most of us would be looking at this and be like, I don't see nothing there, right? Even if we zoom in, you don't see hardly anything, do you? Well, watch this. You see that? Now notice what he did there too. What he put in there. He's talking to Debbie. It took it all day to process these. And exactly, he's explaining to you guys what I did earlier. It's basically peeling back the distortion, the background noise. If you compared it to like audio feeds, you know how sometimes you have to get a microphone and you get the filters and stuff on it to take out the background noise? This is exactly the same thing, just done for a visual. So, yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we would miss without this program he's using now. Good one, Sharon. Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, that's just nuts. Yeah, that's a good one, Scott. It really is. Let's, Okay. The gentleman, yeah, something happened, but I'm not going to go into it. It'll be on the live stream replay. If you want to go back and look, it happened within the last 15 minutes. So if you look at the timestamp now, you get a good idea where it happened. These are from (9/21), the 21st of this month. So yeah, I mean that's what we're seeing. It just amazes me, man. Oh, there's a bigger one. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's do this. Upload photo. Menacing, yeah, we're starting to do that. Okay. This one here, I think, yeah, this one here might not be done processing. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Nita, I don't know, Scott. What position's the 28-day orbit in right now? I forgot the dates on that. I have to go back and look. The rays on the left are just charged particles, guys. That's just how the... Oh, Karen, you missed that part? A G1 to a G3 is the geomagnetic storm levels. We could get in anywhere between a G1 and a G3 level storm, I think. So, yeah. Okay. About 3 days, we'll see it on the other side. Alright. Right here? Yeah, I've seen that. I was like, what the heck is that? Night, Carol. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Christine. How you doing? Rip, glad you're still here. Hey, by the way, guys, let me show you something real quick while I got everybody on here. Rip, you just reminded me by coming over here. Been doing this about every video now. Because, you know, after all that negativity we just seen, how about this?
That you chose a sleep sofa as your candidate.
My physical as well as my mental fitness, my mental fitness, my mental.
Have you heard of Joe Biden? In the basement he be hiding, waiting to come out to see his shadow. Run back downstairs, he's a groundhog. Oh no, there's 6 more weeks of race wars.
Physical as well as my mental fitness.
Too funny. So that's going to be the wrap. I'm going to write over that. I think I just did it. I think that'll just be it. I'll clip it tomorrow and drop that, what we just did right there, Nita. Have you heard of Joe Biden? In the basement he be hiding.
You guys see that, man? That's just crazy. Man, he oh my gosh, he makes me laugh so much. It's crazy. I mean, seriously. Yeah, I mean, Scott's really got this down, man. I mean, there's more and more. And to answer, about the old photographs, we're actually doing that. We've been going back through there, going back through some of the old photographs, and he's going to use the new technique on it, and it's going to, yeah. It's snowing. Sorry, Christine. We had some drama a little bit earlier. We're just trying to move past it. We're good. Guys, you guys know and again, I try my best not to do those kinds of things. Man. I hate it when I let somebody get me there. I really do. That's what happened. I got there. And got there quick. Well, wasn't quick. Matter of fact, I'll let let the mods take care of it first, and then bam, here it come again. What the heck? Anyway, I won't. You know, guys, I'm not apologizing for that part of it. That needed done. You know, they all needed to hear what I said there because it was just there's no way to justify what happened. But anyway. Yeah, guys, I mean, just look at this stuff. We'll, let's toggle through here some more. Yes, he might fall asleep, too. Mark Pyers calls him Sleep Sofa Joe. Cracks me up. Mark? Oh. Hold on a minute. When was the photo taken? Sorry. I think it was the 21st. Yeah. 9/21/2020. Sorry, guys, yeah. I'm eating a pretzel. Sorry, I hadn't, you know, got to keep my energy up doing these live streams. Just kidding. A long time, Marcella. I don't know. I have to go look. Let's look. Couple hours at least. Well, 3 hours. Holy cow. Wow. That's the unprocessed pic? Okay, hold up. That one is, yeah. But I showed the processed one here. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing that. And Scott's already processed some that were really, really old. Okay, let me check it out. After I show this one, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this. I got stuff I gotta do. I gotta try to get some sleep. Oh my god. Wow. What the heck? Okay. Night, Michelle. Glad you stopped by. Okay. Here's the ones he just sent me. Look at those. Night, Kathy. Good to see you. Nita. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's kind of crazy. Let's go to the next one here. Wow. Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, guys. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and end the stream, guys. I gotta. Yeah. Anyway, let me show you this last picture Scott sent over, and we'll call it a day. My gosh. Look at that, guys. Ain't that crazy? Night, Brian. Okay, sounds good, Scott. Debbie. Watchwoman, good to see you. It'll probably take it a couple days, 3 or 4 days, guys, to get on the other side. It's usually about what I think Scott's what Scott was saying. Good night, Mark. Exiled. All right, guys. God bless. Yahuwah saves, and